Live from Arlington, Texas, it's AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. And there's a hole in the roof so God can keep an eye on what the devil is doing. It's time for Supercross coverage on the Big 49.
And 450 main event number 3 was like the 250 main event number 3, Crashapalooza. A lot of dudes went down. Right now, it's looking like Cooper Webb is going to win this whole thing tonight. It's going Webb, Sexton, Anderson, Roxon, Plessinger, Tomac in 6th. But I think Tomac's going to get up a little better than that.
That was it. Webb, Sexton.
Webb, Sexton. Sexton got hosed by lappers. It wasn't a mistake on his part. A lapper crashed in front of him, and then Cooper Webb went right around him.
Wow. And Eli let it go. And I think the big mistake, if we can walk away from this whole thing tonight, is Supercross suspension is a fine art, and you've got to keep it soft enough to where it can soak up the bumps, but not too stiff to where you're going to slide out from underneath the damn
There's
thing.
2 things that we've seen, the suspension, and then we should probably go off and see Money's picks.
Dude, that's 3 in a row.
By the way, just so you
He's
know,
winning.
too,
yeah,
this is the second Triple Crown in a row where Eli Tomac has finished in 6th place.
Yep. Wow.
So he is not having a good year on the Triple Crown events, and there's one more coming up at Glendale, Arizona later this year in April, I believe. So Cooper Webb going to be your overall winner. Chase Sexton's on the box for sure. I'm not sure who is in 3rd place.
Now, how many times do we see that Tomac went down, Sexton went down all by themselves?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sexton goes down all by himself a lot.
I blame a lot of this, though, honestly, because I was watching Jason Anderson as he was going through the whoops.
His suspension
was just fighting him back. It was just bouncing back. His rebound was too stiff.
Second heat was Tomac. He was going through those whoops like, trying to keep that back in straight.
Yep, and it was just
who's the only guy that didn't crash at all?
3rd moto.
Cooper Webb.
Cooper effing Webb. That's who, the guy, Mr. Grinder.
Coop had that thing set up, dialed in, and he was ready in the pocket, and he just kind of opportunistically took every single thing he got. And congratulations to Cooper Webb on that one.
Yeah, no. Coop is riding like he needs to ride to get the red plate, and I don't know if he got it. Eli had a 7-point lead on him. I don't know what the makeup difference is on where Eli finishes.
He's giving a big kiss to his 2 ladies there, his daughter and his wife. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, Coop is a new daddy.
Yep. So
look, they got the headphones on the baby.
Yeah. That was kind of funny.
It is cold in Dallas too tonight because you can see when everybody came to the line, they would have jackets on and stuff. Like
it's cold everywhere right now. I had a report today from Virginia. I've got family in Virginia, and they were saying it was getting snow there. They were getting, cold in Dallas. They're cold in California. Everything is getting cold.
It was snowing in Fontana today, bro.
Snowing in Fontana.
Fontucky?
Out in the IE was getting snow.
Well, okay, the IE's got snow for the last few days, and I'm not kidding. I got hail at my house, and I've never seen that at my house before, and I've lived here for 20-something years.
Yeah, we got snow here at the Radio Ranch today.
That's crazy, but we're also a little higher there.
Yeah, it was just snow everywhere today, so it's been cold.
Snow came down to like 1,000 feet, 1,300 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it got low.
They got really low. Mm-hmm. So, in the overalls today, if I'm looking at this correctly, Sexton's going to get in the box. Sexton's definitely going to get in the box.
Yeah, and Cooper gets the win.
Cooper got the win. Okay. And then I don't know where Tomac's going to come in, and I don't know where Anderson's going to come in. Those are going to be the 2 that I'm going to flip around a little bit.
Here's the big question. The big question is this. When we get to the post-race press conference later on, will Cooper admit to being my BFF when I ask him? Because I always throw it out there, and he just ignores it. Here's
the funny thing, though, in all sincerity about this. Cooper Webb came up and talked to us, and he was happy to talk to us that day. He was like, let's talk, boys. Let's hang out. So Cooper Webb likes the 49. He has no beef with us.
Coop's awesome. I've been a fanboy of Coop for a long time.
Yeah. You definitely have been a fan of Cooper Webb for a long time.
Yeah, I dig Coop, and I like his style, and what I like?
Webb,
I like
Chase
the grind
Sexton,
in him.
Eli Tomac came in 3rd today.
Eli did get on the box.
Yep, Eli got on the box. He came in 3rd today.
That saved his ass as far as the red plate's concerned.
So he got 11 points out of this, and Everybody else got, let me see, 8.
So I got number 2, number 4, and number 5.
All I mixed up was Roxon and Anderson.
Yeah, I had Eli, and then I had Sexton. I had Cooper down at 4. Oh,
I had Cooper at 3. So I had Tomac, Sexton, Webb, Anderson, Plessinger. So I was really close in that.
Thank you,
By the way,
Money.
Do you know who walks away from this happy today? Is Chase Sexton, because he didn't make a mistake that cost him. He crashed, but he got right back on the bike and didn't lose a position or anything.
Third too.
And then, you know, and it wasn't his fault when he got stuck behind a crashed lapper and Cooper got by him. That was not his fault.
I think this crash, though, is going to remind him and bug him for a long time.
But I think he's happy that he held it together.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it's going to make a big difference on the next race or two for him.
Yeah, and he made up ground on Eli, so it's a good night for him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to make a difference for him.
But now we still have the Webb, Sexton, Tomac show.
Yeah, we need to see the championship points. I need to see how big the lead is now, if there is, in fact, a lead at all. Cooper closed it a lot, and Chase even closed a little. So both of them made ground on Eli tonight, who had 7 points going into tonight.
So here's my question. Next week, where are we at? I think we are in Florida next week,
Daytona,
right?
Florida.
Daytona.
Which is where Eli is very, 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 very comfortable.
So right now, Eli's still the red plate holder. Cooper Webb's number 2. Chase Sexton's number 3. Jason Anderson's number 4. And then you got Ken Roxon at number 5. I'm surprised. And then AP, congratulations to Aaron Plessinger, the Cowboy.
Right.
I mean, right there at number 6. And then you got Barsha, Dirk Diggler there at number 7. Christian Craig at number 8, Joey Savacci number 9, and Colton Nichols number 10.
So Cooper Webb made up 5 points on Eli tonight, and Chase Sexton made up 2. That is the difference now. 2 points behind is Cooper Webb. Eli holds the red plate. Chase Sexton is now 5 points behind Eli. So both of them made ground on Eli Tomac tonight.
Yep. And Eli's actually smiling. Which
is weird.
In a good mood. So.
And he crashed.
Well, he crashed, and he doesn't crash too often.
And crashed just on his own. Just the bike popped and he slid it out.
And my feeling is on all of these crashes, though, as we were watching earlier tonight, is I think they were all suspension related. I think they were
I agree.
seriously suspension related because these bikes were set up so stiff and they're trying to predict it. And as the track broke down, things got softer and softer.
And that's what we were saying. Like Tomac, that third round went through the whoops better.
Yep. Oh, he
like they definitely fixed that problem, but then when he went over that table and came down, it was totally suspension.
It was totally suspension.
That's why he oversprung right there. Right?
Yep.
Do you think after last week it was such a gnarly build that they all said, "Man, we got to really crank the suspension after that build after last week"?
I think these guys. I think these guys move very moderately. Once they get their setup, they don't like to change much. They like to move very moderately. And the problem is as these tracks seem to be swinging very, very one way to the other way. In other words,
those whoops were different than last week.
Oh, definitely. 1 week you have a really, really, really soft, very sharp, long whoop section. The next week you have a hard whoop section. The following week you have a sand section. You're really playing a game on suspension here. And as these tracks are breaking down, and they're breaking down very quickly, they're
soft dirt.
They're breaking down faster than I would expect. When you have such a hard setup, it's just going to slip out from underneath you. You need a softer, more forgiving suspension that can actually suck up the bumps, get in, and allow the front wheel to track evenly with the rear wheel. And that's how you're going to keep that speed going because it can do its job. If the suspension starts bouncing and hopping a lot like you saw with Jason Anderson's problem...
Bronco, cowboy.
Yeah, it's a bucket Bronco, and you can't control it. The next thing you know, you're going to land on your face. And the other misnomer that nobody talks about in all of this, and this is something that Cooper Webb has a distinct advantage on, is the steel frame on the KTM Husqvarna gas machines. Those bikes are have much more flexibility.
Forgiving.
Yeah, they're much more forgiving, and they have a little bit more stability in really smooth, soft surfaces. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week in Florida because I know that they're going to go back. Whoever is doing Eli's suspension at Star Yamaha is going to go back.
Soften it up next
They're
week.
going to look at that next week because it's going to be a longer track. It's going to
faster.
be faster, more of
like
an
outdoor hybrid. This
Sandier.
is what I anticipate next week's track being a lot of like what we're probably going to see in the Super Motocross playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're going to look at this film this week and they're going to say, this is where we failed. Because guaranteed, Eli's going back to that trailer and they're looking at that footage of him going down and they're saying, why did Eli go down?
Yeah.
He does not go down by himself. He goes down with help. How did that? Where was the help? The help was in the suspension.
Yeah.
Had we softened it just a little bit more,
Right.
he could have taken that in. It wouldn't have given out, and it wouldn't have slipped out from underneath it.
You know what we get in Daytona, though, every year? We get a lot more sand. We get that big
sand.
outdoor-style track, and you see a lot of smoke clutches. We're going to get that going on next week.
They filmed it earlier today. They were talking about the fact that they they're laying out the Daytona track today. And so
that means no rain in the forecast if they're doing that.
A lot of sand.
See, I think Chase Sexton has the same problem too. Every time he crashes, it's that front end slide out.
Yeah, well, Chase,
and the dirt was a little,
Chase has a problem.
He didn't have the ground. He didn't have the footing there.
Chase's issue is not just suspension, but he gets over exuberant. He gets anxious. And when you get anxious, as you know, you tend to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pushing that front end though, bro. Like,
Ricky Carmichael said he's got too much faith in the traction of the front tire, thinking he could rip through those turns like that, and he can't.
Well, and a lot of that once again comes down to suspension. Traction equals suspension. That's it. It's tire, suspension, traction,
or bar height. Your control of how you're pushing down or whatever.
It's all geometry at that point. And you've got to have it. But the other problem Chase has is he gets really anxious. He gets in this panic mode. And when you get into panic mode, you panic into mistakes. Hunter Lawrence has the same problem, by the way. Mm-hmm. If you notice when Hunter makes mistakes like that crash he got into, it wasn't that he got into a major crash. He did in the end. The bike went on top of him, and he had, him and Ansie's bikes were like folded on top of Hunter. But that was all because he got over anxious in that corner, and he got into braking, and the front end slid out from under him, and he had no choice in the matter.
But that's like so many of his crashes.
Yeah, it's like so many of his crashes.
It's a setup or a handlebar or something.
Get rid of those Carmichael bars.
It's the RC bar. It's the low RC bar.
Get those things up.
Get them
the
up.
ATV highs.
You need a CR high on that, dude, not a CR low.
I love the high bars.
Yeah.
I love the higher bars.
I'm the same way as Moto. I got the
I like
ATV
ape hangers
highs.
on my dirt bike.
Right.
Even higher than a regular dirt bike bar.
Yeah, CR highs are good.
Right, but I'm saying the ATV ones, though.
Yeah, the ATVs have a nice bend in them, and they give you more control.
They're even taller.
If they made CR highs or ape highs for a stretch with the
I want ape hangers. That's what I want on my
with the little tassels that hang off
on my dirt bike.
In all seriousness, the more control you have, the better off you're going to be, especially on slippery surfaces. And the other thing that I haven't noticed lately, and I need to go down to the shop and look at this on a couple of these new bikes, especially that Works bike you have down there, is Honda still putting the front end stabilization into the frame again? Are they still doing that, or do they eliminate front end stabilization?
Yeah, I don't think that they are. I'm not sure. I have to check that.
Because
on that Works bike, I didn't even notice.
Because they did for a while there have the front end stabilization in the headset, and that works amazing. Because I have a front end stabilizer on my 05 CR450, and I also have Olin's front end stabilizer on my CRF 250X. And I can tell you, beyond a reason of a doubt, when you hit sand or you hit unstable material on either of those bikes, I sail right through it. I'd
have to check. I'm not sure if they do, but I know like this year they did went like the hydraulic clutch on there.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal for Honda to do that.
Oh, the juice clutch the hydraulic clutch is a good move. Yeah, it's a smoother clutch, it's a softer clutch, it's easier to manage.
Yeah, people like that feel though,
Well, you get a lot of good feel with a cable. You do get the feel, but the hydraulic clutch, especially for racing, it's just easier.
Right.
It's much easier because you can just do a single finger pull and boom and go. So, with all that being said, Jason, what do you got going on the shop this week?
Man, shop this week, we're running up the flagpole, right? We're trying to get with Fly.
Yep.
We're trying to get Jason Thomas on the Big 49.
Oh. We're trying to get. I also want to get not only Jason Thomas, but I also want to get Daniel Blair.
Right.
I will punch you in the micro penis.
We're literally going to try and just like baby
what
steps
about
with
Weston
them. We're
Pike?
trying to.
I like Weston Pike. He's cool. He's our friend.
I like Weston Pike too. We can put him on.
You know who else is a fly racing guy who we all absolutely love and can agree on? Dean Wilson.
Dino is awesome. We love Dino.
Yeah, Dino's freaking great.
That's number one. You know, number two, new gear's coming out, man. We're actually working on like pre-books and stuff like that. So doing some orders on gear, getting everybody,
gear,
all the pajama stuff going on.
It's funny when you talk about jammies for a second. Jammies seem to be what everybody's looking at this next year. It's like the big deal is the fashion show on the track.
Right.
So they're wanting.
That's why I'm a fashion icon.
I'm hearing some of that stuff, seeing some stuff that can't even be said yet. There's a couple things that are out there that are coming out that are going to be pretty cool. So
sounds like Jason's got an NDA under his belt.
I
can't talk about
on
it.
something.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
I can't tell you guys. I got a whole bunch of bikes coming in.
Yeah, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. I got an NDA.
But I do know something you don't know.
Oh, of course you do.
Got my e-bikes.
Of course you do.
By the way,
I'm
I
going
want
to
an
stick with my
e-bike.
LBZ gear.
Jason, I
sorry.
might come buy an e-bike.
Okay, so Stretch, what do you got going on this week? What's happening?
We are going to sit down with my BFF if he likes it or not. His name is Cooper Webb. Maybe you've heard of him.
I have heard of him.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him. He'll be on the show Monday morning, guarantee.
Guarantee.
And then after that, we are going to talk to Chase Sexton and to Mr. Eli Tomac.
I want to do one little quick shout out for you, though, Stretch. Congratulations on you and your BFF, Ken Roxon. I mean, Ken did an amazing job of keeping the hotel pretty much closed for everybody to get in his head this week.
I will tell you, Ken's been not only better as far as competitive-wise on the Suzuki, he's been mentally tougher this year, but, he's got something to prove, and I think he's dialed in. I like where Kenny is right now.
Okay, well, congratulations. Yeah. I mean, on you putting him in your picks and all that this week because apparently the hotel was closed.
I give him credit, man. He went into a manufacturer that wasn't ready for a big race team like this, I don't think.
Did everyone talk smack about except for Stretch?
Right.
That manufacturer?
By the way, who is the only one in the room that happens to own yellow chicken wagons?
Old ones, when they were really dominant. They used to be the dominant beast
Who
back in
happens
the
to
day.
own a couple of them? I just want to say it.
You do from the trendy years because you're a fair weather fan.
I just wanted to say
I'm
that.
going to watch you bail on Honda as soon as they
Cup.
fall off.
It was the RM Cup 85cc.
By the way,
Mr. RM Army.
By the way,
over here.
who also owns Hondas? Anybody?
You,
Anybody?
because you're a fair weather biatch.
I just want to say, but who else has Yamahas? Anybody?
You,
Anybody?
fair weather
Okay,
biatch.
Just checking. Okay.
Yeah.
You tried
By the way, if Kawasaki gets popular, guess who's getting one of those? You. That's who.
you just trying to pass the word to the Monster Girls or what?
Actually, I would like to get a KD. I'd like to get like a 1984 Kawasaki KDX 200.
Oh yeah, that's a great bike.
That's a great bike.
Yeah.
I would love to get one of those. So, not that anybody cares, but that's what I want to get. I want to get one. There's a few things I want to get. I mean, granted, I think eventually we're all going to have to get some sort of an electric bike if we want to stay in California.
Monster Girl.
I want a Monster Girl, definitely.
I want to get an e-bike, but not a dirt bike, just like the bicycle.
You ought to get a
Suron.
Suron. Stretch, you ought to get a Suron, actually.
No, I'm getting an e-bike, like a bicycle.
That's what I'm saying. You should get a Suron, an electric Suron. Because they allow them at the tracks. You can ride them around Palo when we're out there doing the outdoor stuff.
Those are actually cool. Those are cool as hell.
And
It is a cool bike, but I think he's way too big for it.
Yeah.
You think he's too heavy for it?
I'm fat.
Yeah, we could put a heavy spring up.
I told you.
We could spring
I
that
had
thing
I had an e-scooter for Duke when he was a kid, and I rode it, and it literally caught on fire.
If we could
It
put some
caught on
K-Abos
fire.
on the Suron, he might be all right.
We could spring it up. We could spring it up for him.
I was riding an e-scooter with flames coming out of it. It was literally on fire.
Trust me. Well,
I was riding it up a hill, and it just burst into flames.
Super. We know it was on fire.
That's a real story.
Super. So, moral of the story is we could set it up for him, and it would work well.
That was God looking after you.
So,
Say, get off a scooter, bitch.
All
get
right,
on some gas-powered stuff. Hey, do they sell scooters with like a 5-horsepower 2-stroke motor on the back? Because I need one of those.
You can't get anything in California like that anymore.
No, you can't get anything like that in California.
I need a 2-smoker.
I heard Gavin Newsom actually put the death penalty against somebody for using their chainsaw.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Too bad it wasn't against him.
You know what? I think I need to go back to a 2-stroke street bike.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
Actually, the new chainsaws now are called the Beaver, and you just got to train a beaver to eat through trees.
See?
Do you remember the old RD,
animal cruelty?
the old Yamaha 2-stroke 400? Do you remember that thing?
Yep.
450.
The RT 200.
Well, then they came back with the RZ after that, which was a water-cooled version of that, because that original bike was air-cooled.
Yes,
that
I do.
street bike.
I remember that.
Yeah, I need one of those.
You can't get those anymore.
No, I'm gonna buy one.
We'd have to get an old school one and rebuild it.
That's what I mean. And then I'm gonna ride it around. There
you go.
So
wrapping
let's pull the
everywhere.
emergency.
Exactly.
Pull the emergency switch.
Yeah.
It
We gotta
is
get
the
that.
Big 49. We
I
are
gotta go
out of
eat.
here. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our friends Straub Distributing. Thank you to our good friends at Ghost energy drinks. Thank
And
you to
Elbs.
our good friends at LBZ.
Yeah.
And we forgetting anybody?
Yeah, my nephew Carson. 3
Yeah,
weeks in a
see
row.
money.
Yeah, you did a good job.
3 weeks in a row, baby. Good job, buddy.
Torched us
Thank you.
3 weeks in a row.
Using childhood labor 3 weeks in a row.
right.
Go again.
Yeah.
Someone's
I-
been-
Kyle
And
should
all
be
the
ashamed
all
of
the Big
himself.
49 family, the HYR
Yes.
family,
Yes.
man.
It's all
Thank
money
goodness
to
they've been
me.
on it.
And the
all money.
75 listeners.
And
75.
all 15 of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
75, I said.
Mama, Papa, thank
checks
you.
in the mail. It's a big 49.
TheBig49Radio.com. Scorching the earth with rock and roll in digital HD.